Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Todd Champion. This is Camping with Champion, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Meelod DK300 e-bike. The first thing I want to talk about are these two batteries on here. This battery is really cool, by the way. They made it to look like a gas tank, which just really fits the style of the bike. And then you have another battery down here. Each one of these batteries is 20 amp hours. So in total, we have 40 amp hours of battery on this bike, which they say will get you from 75 to 150 miles. That is a crazy long way for an e-bike. Now, as I've come to learn on these e-bikes, that 150 mile range is probably pretty optimistic. You might be able to get it if you have this thing on the lowest power assist level and you are pedaling with it. But for someone like me who rides pretty much just full throttle and no pedaling at all, I'm probably going to be getting closer to that 75 mile range, if that. And realistically, if I'm being honest, I bet I could get probably 50 to 60 miles, and that is nothing but using the throttle, no pedaling. And even that though is really good on an e-bike. Most people would never need to go 50 miles without a charge. The next thing I want to show you are the motors. So this thing has dual 1200 watt motors, one on the front and one on the rear. And you can select which one you want to use. You can use just the front one, just the rear one, or you can turn them both on at the same time. This thing has a max speed of 35 miles per hour. With me on here, I've been able to get it up to about 33 miles an hour, and I weigh about 185 pounds for reference. The dual motors come in very handy when you're trying to go uphill. That's where they really shine. So if you don't have a dual motor, you're going to lose half your power going up any kind of steep terrain. And you have dual hydraulic disc brakes on the front and the back. I do believe this is the first time I've ever had hydraulic brakes as well. Moving back to the batteries for just 1 second, I wanted to point out that both of these have a little switch here that you can check the status of your battery. The charger they send with it has two cables that come off the end, so you can plug up both batteries and charge them both at the same time. It takes about 8 hours for the batteries to go from 0 to fully charged. The tires are 20-inch by 4-inch fat tires. They're these e-moped Scout tires. They're really good, but I do believe that they are meant more for road use. I think this bike in general is meant more for use on the road rather than taking it off-roading. It has an all steel frame, which makes it very sturdy, but it also increases the weight by a lot. This thing weighs 132 pounds, and the box that it came in was huge, and there was two separate boxes that it came in. So like the front motor and wheel came in its own package, and the rest of the bike came in another package. This seat is really comfortable. It's the most comfortable e-bike seat that I've ever sat on. When I first got it, it was a little stiff, but now that I've been riding it for a few weeks, it has really softened up a lot. This seat is about 13 inches long, so as long as your butt is within 13 inches length, you should be fine. And they do sell a rack that comes off the back of here, so you can put some kind of carrying case or something on there, but it doesn't come with one standard. It has rear and front fenders, and these fenders are metal, and that does cause a little bit of rattling while you're riding the bike. It has a standard 7-speed Shimano shifter, which, if you know me, I never use, but it's there if you need it. It has air shocks on the rear here. Oh my gosh, this is great. When I sit down on the bike, it literally comes down like and whenever you go on a bump, you can feel it just riding over the bump. When I first got it, it was a little stiff, but I've adjusted it and it feels really, really great now. You adjust the air in this cylinder right here, and it has shocks on the front which can also be adjusted. I don't know if you can see, but when I sit down on this and give a little pressure onto the front, you can see those shocks. moving in and out. And you can adjust those just like you can on the back. You have a little knob here to adjust those front shocks. I'll continue telling you the specs in just a second, but I just want to point out, look how freaking cool this thing looks. This is the coolest looking bike I've ever had. Okay, I'll finish up telling you about the specs. All right, let's move along to the lighting system. To turn the headlights on and off, you're going to hold down this plus button, and that will switch on your front headlight. Like I mentioned earlier, this headlight has a high beam and a low beam. And it has these really cool LEDs along the side that stay on all the time. I will show you how the light looks at nighttime here in a little bit. You also have a rear tail light. So it is lit up right now, and if you hold the brakes, it's going to get this blinking motion to alert people that you are stopping. Besides that, it also has left and right blinkers. Switch that left blinker on and you'll get this left turn signal. We'll switch the right blinker on and you get the right turn signal. This is also the first bike I've ever had that has turn signals on it. This thing is just built for riding on the streets. It also has front blinkers as well. So if you turn on your left blinker, you'll see that one, and then you turn on your right blinker, you can see this one light up. The weight range for this bike is up to 460 pounds, and it can accommodate riders from 5'3" up to 6'2". It has a 2.4-inch LCD color display. If you press the power button, you can see the little wheel that it is colored orange right here. So if you press the power button, you're going to get both wheels lit up. That means that you're using both motors. Press it again. Now you're just using the front motor. Again, just the rear, and so on and so forth. You can get into your settings menu by holding down the plus and the minus buttons. In these settings, you can adjust things like your Bluetooth, the password to get into your bike, your wheel size, your units, that's for kilometers or MPH, LCD backlight, and the auto off feature that will automatically turn your bike off if you're not using it for a certain period of time. Now these other settings, there is a certain password you need, and I don't know if it's certain bikes have certain different passwords, but I emailed Meelod and they sent me the password for this. I can't remember what it was right now, but basically this gets you in the system and then it lets you adjust things like your speed. I think it comes set on maybe 60%, and then you can adjust it up. So a 60% is going to be about 28 miles per hour, right? But if you go into this second settings, you can adjust that power all the way to 100 so you can get the full power out of these bikes. Obviously, it depends on where you are and the laws in your state, but in most places, 28 miles per hour is legally what an e-bike can be when they send it to you. So they just do that for legality purposes. And obviously, try not to break your speed limits when you're riding your bike, and always wear your helmet. Okay, I actually remembered the password, and it was 1688. So if you have one of these bikes and you want to try that password out, go ahead. And like I said, here's where you can see battery info, error codes. You can reset your trip, reset your odometer. You just got to click and click yes. You can reset your trip. And so just like that. Oh, you can also change your themes. So if you don't like this orange color that I'm using, you can use blue, green, or I would call that a magenta or light blue. I like the burnt orange theme though. Oh, and you can factory reset the entire bike as well. And then exit, we're gonna exit back out into your main menu. So right here is gonna be your pedal assist level. You can adjust that up all the way to 5. That's about where I keep mine at all times. And then your speed, obviously your battery percentages. When you have your headlights on, that will come up, there'll be a little icon up there. There is one icon on this bike that I'm going to wait until the end of the video to talk about. It is something really cool I've never had on a bike, and I really think every company should be putting this, if they can, in every single e-bike they sell because these things are so expensive. You also have your little Bluetooth light, so it lets you know when your Bluetooth is connected. Another cool thing about this bike, it has this navigation thing built in, and you can download an app on your phone, put in an address, and it will tell you the turns left, right on your display up here. It's really freaking cool. Down at the bottom is your odometer. It tells you how long you've driven the bike, trip miles, and your oh, I just reset all that. But usually it'll have how many miles you've ridden it already and how many miles on this trip specifically, but I just reset that when I was talking about the menu. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get my helmet on and we're gonna take this thing for a ride. Oh, shout out to my dad for giving me this helmet. It has a little thing on top so I can put my action camera and get that first person point of view from the bike. Let's take this thing for a ride so you can see what it can do. It's about to get dark here soon, so what I think I'm gonna do is just ride this bike around, see how many miles I can put on it right now for the next hour and see how much that drains the battery. And also that'll give me a chance to show you how cool this headlight is. As I mentioned earlier, I don't think this bike was really built to go off-road, but that doesn't mean it can't. And I have found this field here and I'm going to ride around in here and show you how well it handles in the grass and going over bumps and holes and stuff like that. Got to make this quick though, because got to be honest, I don't know whose field this is. Just because it doesn't have the huge knobby tires and stuff made for off-roading doesn't mean it can't get it done. But I just don't think that that should be its main purpose if that's what you're buying this bike for. Woo! This thing handles the off-road just fine though. I've went over some pretty large bumps. It's been pretty smooth riding as well. You can hear in my voice the bumpiness of the ground, but honestly it does not feel that bad at all. This is some tall grass too, especially over that way where I was just at. I'm gonna ride straight up this hill from the road just so you can see what it looks like on just a little bit of an incline. So this is from completely stopped. Any bike can get a run and go and get up a hill pretty much, but this is completely stopped. I just want to show off how much a difference having that front motor makes. Not only can it get up a hill, but it can pick up speed going up a hill. I know that probably didn't look too cool to you because you couldn't see how steep the hill is, but it's hard to convey unless you're riding on the bike how easily it just pulled me up that hill. Not only did it get me up the hill, but it was picking up speed going uphill as well. That's really freaking cool. Any of the other e-bikes that I have or I've tried that don't have that front motor, that is their biggest problem, is going uphill. They can do 25, 28 miles per hour on flat road, but when you get going up hills and stuff like that, it's dropping your speed in like half. So that front motor is a big deal to me. If you give me the choice, I'm picking a dual motor bike every time. So I was doing about 30 miles per hour right then, and I just came to a complete stop. I would say that's about 15 feet, maybe a little bit longer. I'd have to measure it, but so from 30 miles per hour to a complete stop, about 15 feet. That's pretty freaking good. I forgot to show y'all the horn. Look what I found while I was riding around, guys. This old building. Maybe I can stealth camp in there. It looks to be in pretty good shape though, so probably somebody's taking care of this thing, other than the obvious grass that hasn't been mowed in a long time. But I don't see any signs or anything like that, so I don't know. This is definitely a possibility. And I can ride my e-bike to it. I honestly am not sure where I'm at right now. I've just been riding around these back roads and I'm kind of lost. I'm gonna have to get my phone out and figure out exactly where I am right now. But anyways, let me show you the headlight now that it's pretty dark out here. So right now this headlight is on a low beam. See there? And that is pretty good. If that was the only option, I would be totally satisfied with it. But if we put it on the high beam, it lights up, I mean, for probably 40, 50 feet in front of me. That is excellent. I know I say this every time, but by far this is the best headlight I've had on a bike yet. Seems like they just keep getting better and better. Low beam, high beam. So this is one of 2 apps you can download for this bike. This app tells you how long your trip was, how fast you're going, your battery percentage left. You can turn your headlights on and off with this button. Check this out. That's pretty cool. But I think that's about all that this one does. But I do like being able to see your battery percentage instead of just, because if you look on the bike, you just get that little symbol, right? So you're not sure exactly how much percentage is left in that battery meter. On your app, it tells you the exact percentage that you have left. So far, we started off with about 50% on here, and I've been riding around and we've used up 18% of the battery, and we went 8.2 miles. I'm just gonna round that up to 10 miles and say that we used 20% of the battery, and that's gonna get us right at 50 miles of range, and that is using just full throttle, both motors on at the same time. But there's another app, and I really like this other app. So this other app you can download is what I mentioned earlier, what I think every e-bike should have. These e-bikes are expensive and they can get stolen so easily. But this bike comes with a GPS app that will locate your bike wherever it is. You just click here and it's going to give you the location of your bike. That is really freaking cool. It'll give you the location of your bike at any time. That is really cool. Also, you can turn the bike on and off, so I can power the bike down right now with this. It also gives you a ride review of your trip. You can just press play and it will show you your path from where you started to where you ended up. I think that is so freaking awesome. These bikes, man, every time I go to like Walmart or something like that and I have to leave my bike outside, I get very paranoid. And, you know, I do have one of those bike alarms that go on your disc brake, and that's good. An alarm will go off supposedly if someone moves your bike. But honestly, if someone pulled up in a truck and two guys jump out, it takes them 10 seconds to throw a bike in the back of their truck and take off. With this GPS location, you're gonna know where it's at and they're gonna have no idea that you know where it's at. That is freaking great. I love that feature. All right, I'm gonna start heading back and I will stop and give you my final thoughts on this bike here in just a minute. So apparently I only had one battery on, so I actually have 42% battery left, but I wanted to show you this. So this app here is the one you use for the navigation. So if I hit go on this, I've already selected my endpoint, but I'm gonna hit start navigation, and then you'll see up here on the bike, it will have how many miles to turn. It says 0.7 miles, I'm gonna turn right. It has my destination at 4 miles away from here. That is really cool. So now I can put my phone in my pocket and I can just look at this and it'll navigate me back to the spot I want to be. Once we get there, I'll give you my final thoughts. So before I finish my ride home, I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this bike. There are pros and cons about this, which there is about every bike. One con I have is that it weighs 132 pounds. This thing is a beast. It is so heavy, but that is because the bike is made from an all steel frame. Now that should give it some strength in the long run. So maybe that'll end up being a pro in the long run, but man, it is heavy. It was very easy to put together though, despite it being so heavy. I just flipped it over on top of the handlebars, popped the front wheel on there and connected the motor, and now it's good to go. So super easy to put together. The speed is perfectly fine on this bike. It goes 33 miles per hour with me on it. I weigh about 185 pounds. It looks so freaking cool though, and you would think just by looking at it, I feel like you expect it to go faster. But I'm not complaining about that. I think that's a perfectly fine speed for an e-bike. The things I love about this the most, the 2 batteries. I didn't do any specific calculations here, but we still have a little under 40%, I think, battery remaining. And I just rode it about 13 miles. And I forgot that I reset the trip before I took off. And I'd already been riding it today beforehand anyways. So easy 50 miles guaranteed on this. And I'm thinking, if I didn't have both motors on constantly going full speed, I bet you I could get it past that 75-mile range that they give you on the low end. And if you pedal with it, oh my gosh, you could go, like they say, up to 150 miles. That's just not how I ride though. I absolutely love that headlight. I love that it has blinkers on the front and the back. I love that it has a rear brake light. And the thing I like the most about this bike is the GPS locator. That is a big deal to me. Now, if you get one of these bikes, they're $15.99 right now. I'll have a discount in the comments below and in the description. But if you do get one of these, make sure on their website you click on the new 2025 version, because the older versions do not have that GPS location built into it, or the navigation either, I don't think. But that's such a huge deal to me. Like I said probably 3 times in this video, I feel like these things are so expensive, and the last thing you want is someone just to be able to snatch it up and leave with it and you have no way of locating it. I don't have an iPhone, so I can't use AirTags, which I guess that could be another option, but I just like the fact that it's built into the bike already. So overall, I think this is a great bike. I looked at some other bikes, the moped style bikes with the 2 motors and 2 batteries, and they're like $2,500 and up. So I think this is probably the cheapest you're gonna find one like this that has the 2 motors, 2 batteries, steel frame, moped style tires, all those cool things. Like I said, if you want one, I'll have a link down in the comments below. Thank you to Meelod for letting me review this. It's a really, really cool bike, and I will see all of you guys Friday for a stealth camp. Bye, everybody.